Hello guys, happy Wednesday. I hope you are doing well. Before I get on to this week's cooking, I need your help. I have decided in my brain snapped moment to pay money and participate in a 5K fun run on the 7th of September here in Brisbane called the Bridge to Brisbane. And because I'm doing it as myself, not like a company or an organization, I am actually able to raise money for a charity, and the charity that I have selected is Beyond Blue, because I think they do fantastic work with depression, and you know, everyone supports them. If you do Movember, that's Beyond Blue, so definitely a great sort of charity to get behind. So you can actually donate to me to help me do my run, because when you donate, they actually take time off my time. That makes sense. So my finishing time, they actually cut that back to what they call a hero time, and that works with the charity. So please help me out. The links are below if you'd like to donate and find out more about Beyond Blue. Anyway, moving on. This week's recipe, I thought, well, I'm gonna get in shape. I've got to do this run. I thought I would make a low-fat version of a very popular favorite, the cinnamon bun. I remember seeing these as soon as I got off the plane in LAX at like Burger King, and I was like, oh my god, that's so good. But I resisted because I was probably been awake for more than 24 hours. But I actually looked up how many calories are in one of these. Do you know how many calories are in one of these? 880. 880 calories. Oh my god. So I'm going to show you how to make my version. It has a lot less calories and is a little bit better for you. This is how you make my low-fat version of a cinnamon bun.
Okay guys, to get started, first thing you're going to do is grease your muffin tins. And I'm just using some spray olive oil here. Make sure you grease them very, very well. Into a bowl, we're going to add our self-raising flour. Of course, sift that, but I was naughty and didn't do it. And then add in your icing sugar. Then you also want to add essentially 1 cup of buttermilk, 250 mils. And essentially we're kind of making like a scone or a biscuit, depending on where you live in the world. But just using a butter knife, mix that all together until it is well combined. Once it has come together, it's time to knead the dough. So you just want to tip it out onto a floured surface and knead until essentially the flour or the dough doesn't stick to you anymore. That's when you know you're done. Once you get to that point, then it's time to start rolling out. What you want to do with your rolling is you want to essentially get your dough to a shape that is about 30 centimeters by about 25 centimeters. You're going to need to roll this out, and that's what we're going to put our filling on. Because there is no butter or oil in this filling, you've got to essentially get it out nice and flat, but not too chunky. So then we're going to get our brown sugar, and we're going to lightly sprinkle this all over our dough, making sure that we don't leave it all in one end and make it nice and even. Then we're going to do the same with our cinnamon, making sure of course we get a fair amount of cinnamon all over the floured surface, so it's not just one end, and of course going to the edges as much as possible. Then all we're going to do is start rolling up. So to roll it up, I always roll away from myself. I don't know, I find that works the best as opposed to towards yourself. But you want to make your first roll very, very tight, and then use the force or the weight of the roll to go on top of itself. So roll it up nice and tight, and don't be afraid to give it a good roll once it has all come together. And of course, this is going to make 12 of these bad boys for you, so you need to cut off the ends that are a bit knobbly. And then you want to cut the ingredients in half, half again, and then into thirds to give you 12 in total. And of course, you don't want them to be too big, because essentially this is self-raising flour and the buttermilk, and it will puff up. So don't go too chunky on this. Then all you need to do is get your cut cinnamon buns and pop them into your muffin tin, making sure that you do give them a little bit of a squish down, but not too much, just so that they even out and fill the muffin tin completely. Then you want to brush them with just some low-fat or but reduced fat milk, just to give it a nice glaze. Yeah. And then I've got some pecans, which I have finely chopped, not too chunky but not too small, and I'm going to lightly sprinkle these on top. You can push them a little bit in, I probably would, because they kind of fell off a little bit at the end. Then you want to bake it in your oven, nice hot oven, 12 minutes. While that's in there and they've come out, it's time to make our icing, and this is our white vanilla icing. So just a little bit of vanilla and a very small amount of milk here. to make our icing sugar. And the milk, I'm not going to give you a measurement because it can change, but you want it essentially a nice ribbon-y consistency so that you can essentially drizzle it on top of your cinnamon buns. While your cinnamon buns are still a little bit warm, it's time to drizzle. And make sure that you are nice and generous with your drizzle. Make sure you go down the side, make it look just like the real thing. There you have it, guys. Check these out. Half the amount of calories and they taste just as good.
There you have it, guys. These taste amazing. There is no butter. They are good for your waistline, much better than the real cinnamon buns. And I hope that you give these a go. And if there is anything that you do, a make of mine that you give a go, please feel free to send me a photo. You can do that on Facebook. You can tag me on Instagram or Twitter. I am so happy to see that people make my stuff and go, this is really good. Thank you so much for making it. Don't ask me why I'm talking that voice. But anyway, if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. It's the one of my face over here, the red button below. And I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.